I wonder how many of y'all if this uploads as a video. If it's a short, then I don't care. But I really wonder how many of y'all like saw that and was like, just looking at it, right? All right, look, I did that as clickbait, but not like clickbait in like the way you think it is, right? So I'm doing this as a video, hopefully, to try to help it get out there a little bit, but the title doesn't match what I've been doing, so the YouTube algorithm's like, what's going on? But long story short, okay, because I've already done a post about this, I've already done a short about this, so long story short, I'm gonna do lazy what ifs. That's what I'm gonna say, but what I'm gonna title is What If Lazies to help with the YouTube algorithm. This way I'm able to eventually venture off into more what ifs, so I'm not just stuck at my hero, but I also still will do my hero what ifs, but my ideas are so prevalent and I have so many ideas that I'm like, all right, because like, for example, I might do Dragon Ball Z what ifs for like a week or something, right? Just because I have a lot of ideas and most of them make sense. It fits in the story. No one's done these what ifs. Then you might catch it where I'm doing like a couple of good Naruto what ifs. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I changed my name from Boss DK to Boss DK of what ifs for that reason alone. But I'm working on the algorithm and stuff like that. But there's a problem. I think very advanced and I think very high tech in the sense of, because what if Deku had a 1-inch quirk? Now, everyone's going to be like, all right, what the fuck, right? I never liked Deku's personality I didn't like his cinnamon roll-ness. But I feel like a lot of people misunderstood, and I probably might have been saying it wrong too. Like, it's me, really. But when I was saying that, I didn't like his outer projection of, because he was willing to break his own fingers to make a point. Like, my boy had a lot of grit. I just didn't like that he didn't carry himself like that. But in the story, it makes sense. If you were told from Jump Street that you suck and there's no way you can do anything, then your idol gives you the power to do stuff. You're gonna feel like, even though it's like a fat person being a fat person their whole life and then they become skinny, they're still that fat person, if that makes sense. So I understand. I just like, that's one factor, right? So I like changed Deku's character for that reason. Also, the other factor is I hate when, once again, I think differently. I hate when stories go overboard on training arcs, if that makes sense. I look at stories objectively where I'm like, all right, this makes sense why you would have to explain this. But if someone explains like they're this strong for this reason or whatever the case is, that's a-okay, that's cool. But it just depends. Like, I'm trying to think of like a legitimate example. Goku was training for X, Y, and Z. We get a couple of clips of him training, cool. We don't need to go over every single plot point in detail. Also, I do know though, for example, if someone had an ice ability, there's many applications. It depends on what it's premised off. If it's a fruit, a devil fruit, it might have a little more structure to it. But if Deku has an ice quirk, for example, what if he did instead of producing ice, right? What if he like took the cold around from stuff? Would he theoretically be able to not only produce heat but fire, but make it make sense in the rules of the context? For example, even like with the ice quirk, all right, what if he did a reverse process where instead of freezing, like he has an ice sword. This is something I did, and this was one of the comments that people said, like, wow, that's such a good idea. Or like, damn, he could take the ice around the blade itself, thus making a different temperature point. So it's almost like he's warming up the water, but he isn't. And by him doing this, it creates water. So then he's able to vibrate the water by creating small ice cubes and then creating like a sawed off blade and then vibrating it. Or he could literally vibrate the ice. You know what I'm saying? Like little stuff like that, just on the top. Not even like, my shit, right? So with that being said, I have so many different ideas, but also the problem is I see the plot points, the plot holes, the consistency, all of that. I overdo it. So with that being said, I'm going to do these live streams where y'all come in, y'all, we get with it. Y'all be like, hey, hey, what you been up to? Cause the first 5-10 minutes, right? We can get the ideas and then be like, hey, y'all got any questions? Y'all want to talk about anything? What's good with y'all, right? Because one of the things is too, especially with streamers, YouTubers and stuff like that, most people don't actually get to interact with the streamer. It's always kind of they're doing their own thing and you're kind of just there, if that makes sense. So I'm wondering if this is not only a good way for me to have content without over analyzing it, but I would also be able to interact with a lot of y'all. Even if I do get bigger, there will still be names, there will still be people, it will still be a thing, right? So that's a factor. Also, we can do it to where y'all come in, y'all say what y'all want, and we do it. But let's say it's an ideal that I don't want to do yet, right? And this isn't me being weird. I don't want to do this idea because I plan to do that for a normal video. Cause it's this will be my lazy subcategory or lazy what ifs, right? And I do that. And if I'm we're not doing this, I'm thinking about all this off top. I don't have a script for this. We do this and y'all are you know what? I don't want to do this what if. I'm not really feeling it right now because I want to put more thought to it. My putting thought to it is calculus. I gotta make sure every plot point is perfect. I gotta make sure every story beats here. I gotta foreshadow this. I'm doing too much. But if y'all let's say it's 10 of y'all, right? Or I'll say 40, right? And 10 of y'all some $5, $3, $4, y'all are supporting it and donating to me, right? And I'm gonna be So it all started on a fateful day. You get what I'm saying? Because it's all right. Now, mind you, I would prefer if the donations was on Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, all of these other places, because YouTube takes a good 30%. I don't need YouTube to take any of my money. But if you can't do it nowhere else, I'm okay with this. You might have a little gift card. And it's not an obligation. Let me make that clear. It's not an obligation of pay me now or I'm not making this video. No. It's, this is what I'm not doing. Now, if you pay, then I'll do it. You know what I mean? And it's in context. If someone pays $50 for it and other people are donating $3, $4, $8 for a different one, I'm doing the $50 first. And then the stream itself doesn't have an inherent time limit per se. It's if I'm not doing anything inherently, if I'm not going to work or something, we good. We'll chill out for a little bit. Then when everyone's got to go, whatever, all right, we'll cut the stream off. Or if I got to go, we'll cut the stream off. So that's the thought process. It's free. You come in, and if no one donates, because I presume most people don't have bread, no one donates, that doesn't change anything. We'll just go to a different stop. Just hey, all right, not that one, but come on, throw some one shot what ifs or some crazy ideas that you didn't have. Make it plausible. If you say Deku was the strongest or something, I could still make that work. But it would be kind of hard. Or if Deku was a god amongst gods, or what if Deku won every fight? You know what I'm saying? And it's not an all be all neither, because it's like me with ChatGPT, right? I already have the idea. I just need help on some certain plot points. So if y'all don't have any ideas, I have plenty of ideas that I'm willing to go over, right? So it's be hey, what if Deku had a bat quirk? What if Deku had the King's quirk, God quirk? I would prefer donations for this one, but I'm a little more lenient because I've already done this already. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think. What if Future Gohan won? Preferred donation before I did that one because that's a more video one. But just give me an idea. What if Naruto mastered the Shadow Clone? I'm trying to think. What if Deku was born with a quirk? That's its own subcategory, because how I would do it is, what if Deku was born with a quirk, and then in parentheses, we got Phoenix, we got Pyrokinesis, we got both, we got the true one, right? That would be true and then one. And then I would say, What if Deku was born with a quirk canon edition? Because I feel like there's a particular way he would have a quirk and it wouldn't be fire-based. Because all the other ones are fire-based, right? Just going off the line. And you got to think about it. Telekinesis, low-level telekinesis with some type of fire control, right? That could be fire control, obviously. That could be an advanced version of fire control, such as like Phoenix control, like Green Phoenix. That could be ice control. That's actually one of the baselines for the ice one, but ice hits better for the title. We got, what was the other ones? Phoenix. We got just a basic telekinesis. Oh, and my favorite one, I saved this one for the end because no one makes it here. He would have both. He would have the ability to control, I forgot what it's called, but basically he can control the molecules or something. So he can create fire and ice. So he's a stronger version of Todoroki, but it has its own drawbacks. That one, I didn't like how it turned it out. Like, I mapped up the whole story and I was like, I don't like this ending. It's a good story. It's fucking amazing. I just didn't like the ending. And I have like 2 endings for it. So like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's all up in this noodle, man. But yeah, that's it. If you made it this far, you want to know something? I got a name for people in my stream. The Lazy Legion. Yeah, that shit tough, isn't it? I didn't think of it. ChatGPT said that one. I said, ooh, I'm still in that shit. That's all me. I made that shit up. Like, what you mean? All right. I'm done. I'm bullshitting now.